The Huawei MateBook X Pro 2022 12th Gen is an improved model of the MateBook X Pro 2022 11th Gen, and it has an improved battery and a more modern processor, the 12th Gen Intel Core i7 to 1260p. The only CPU option for this laptop has extremely fast processing rates, making it another excellent productivity laptop from Huawei. The laptop doesn't appear to be for sale right now, but Huawei says it might be very soon. The MateBook series' newest flagship is this laptop, but is the upgrade worthwhile? How did I like using the most recent Huawei MateBook X Pro? The MateBook series is famed for its consistency, and the MateBook X Pro follows suit with the other members of the family by boasting a sophisticated and svelte appearance that wouldn't seem out of place in an office or classroom. Overall, this is without a doubt one of the most elegant and understated laptops on the market, albeit there is still a touch of the MacBook Pro series about it. Although I was sad to receive a space gray unit, I'm also happy that Huawei has finally included more color options. I might have missed out, but since the laptop is also available in white and ink blue, you don't have to. I'm glad to see Huawei modifying the formula and giving the series a little more flair. The laptop's build quality is excellent as usual. There is almost no flex in the chassis when using the keyboard, since the laptop just weighs 1.38 kilograms and feels solid and durable. I had no trouble packing it in my backpack and carrying it to and from work. Keep in mind that there is just one 3.5mm audio jack and 4 USB-C connections available. Although Thunderbolt 4 is now more frequently seen in high-end laptops, just 2 of those feature it. Sadly, there are no USB 8 ports for older accessories. The MateBook X Pro 2022 11th generation laptop's haptic feedback elements are also present on the trackpad, which I find to be highly responsive and satisfyingly clicky. I could use the gesture controls to move along the panel's edges to change the volume and brightness. I could also grab screenshots by double tapping with my knuckles. This simplified productivity tasks and made it really easy to go through a YouTube video and change the volume of my music. My favorite aspect of this laptop has to be this feature. Additionally, the 1080p webcam functioned well, and I discovered that it was sufficiently crisp and detailed to get me through Zoom conversations for business. Although it didn't perform as well in darker settings, it will be adequate for anyone working from home who occasionally needs to make a video call. With a 14.2-inch screen and a 92.5% screen-to-body ratio, the Huawei MateBook X Pro has a high-end appearance. It has a 3:2 aspect ratio and a 3120x2080 resolution. Even though the screen is smaller than other laptop screens, having 2 tabs open at once didn't make the workspace feel crowded. There is also enough vertical area for working, although the resolution is better than standard Full HD 1920x1080. Given the high cost of the MateBook X Pro 2022 12th Gen model, I would have preferred to see an OLED display added to increase contrast. However, this round screen is incredibly colorful and has been great for watching media. It's ideal for a Netflix marathon. I tested the display's true capabilities with a colorimeter to support my statements with evidence from the real world. In tests, the laptop's brightness reached a maximum of 578.53 nit, which is far higher than the typical 300 nit count of most laptop displays. With minimal glare, this made working outside in the sun simple. The screen is a 10-point touchscreen, similar to several other professional laptops from Huawei, and in my testing, it performed flawlessly. It was quite simple to scroll through papers and zoom in on photographs, and it will be a lifesaver for individuals who frequently work with spreadsheets. Surprisingly, the MateBook X Pro 2022 performed well in our testing of color accuracy, with DCI-P3 and sRGB numbers of 92.2% and 97.9%, respectively, and Adobe RGB coverage of 84.8%. The 12th Gen Intel Core i7 to 1260p is the only processor choice available for the Huawei MateBook X Pro. This chip performs admirably, providing quick load and response times. Without the laptop hesitating or faltering, I was able to use Slack, Chrome, YouTube, and Spotify simultaneously. It was simple for me to work with 2 monitors because I could easily connect this laptop to my Razer Raptor 27 monitor via the USB-C port and view YouTube videos. In order to compare the MateBook X Pro to its competitors and other MateBook laptops, I ran a few benchmark tests on it. The results are shown in the table below. The MacBook Air M2 was the only device to outperform the MateBook X Pro in the Geekbench 5 single-core test. the MateBook X Pro 2022 12th generation would be suitable for basic Photoshop workloads, according to the benchmark results and the remarkable color accuracy findings. But even with a precise display, the absence of a dedicated GPU imposes restrictions on gaming and labor-intensive creative tasks like 4K editing. To significantly expand the use cases for this device, Huawei should launch a model with an optional RTX 3050 or RTX 3060 from NVIDIA. Such a choice is not at the moment accessible. The storage options for this laptop are 512 gigs or 1 terabyte, and it has 16 gigs of RAM. 512 gigs is more than enough for a productivity device, and I'm glad to see a 1 terabyte option for individuals who have greater workloads, with read and write speeds of 3558 megabyte per second and 2788 megabyte per second, respectively. The SSD performed admirably as well, providing average rates for loading and storing data to the disk. If SSD speed is a concern for you, though, laptops like the LG Gram 16 and the Dell XPS 13 Plus have increased SSD speeds even more. The MateBook X Pro 2022 12th generation would pleasantly endure over the course of a workday, but I would have appreciated more exemplary battery ratings. In the PC Mark 10 battery test, the Huawei laptop lasted 9 hours and 19 minutes, thanks to its 60 watt-hours battery. Although it falls short of the MateBook 16's amazing score of 13 hours, this was still adequate for everyday use. I was also able to increase that by lowering the screen brightness to under 150 nits and activating battery saver mode. However, there are substitutes with greater endurance. The battery life of laptops like the Asus ZenBook S13 OLED and Acer Chromebook Spin 513 is 13 hours and 13 hours and 35 minutes, respectively. The Huawei MateBook X Pro 2022 12th generation is a fantastic laptop that delivers advancements over its forerunner, including increased brightness levels, better accuracy for work that requires the ability to distinguish colors, and a 12th generation Intel processor. The strong construction and the haptic feedback touchpad are features I like for hybrid workers seeking a small portable computer that can be used at home or in the office. The MateBook X Pro is the best option, but its appeal is probably limited, given its poor battery life and exorbitant cost. This is a fantastic option if you want a quick laptop for work. However, more affordable gadgets like the MacBook Air M2 and Dell XPS 13 OLED offer comparable performance. I hope this video was useful and interesting for you. Thanks for watching, have a nice day and see you soon.